Perfect. Everybody click
PRB.
okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I am still in Orlando. I didn't want to leave. I had such a great time. I wanted to stay here forever. And people, my goodness, everybody just decided to come all in at once. So we are we're going to recap some of the highlights from this week, and everybody's going to take about 5 minutes and just give you there's no way we can describe the feelings and the emotions and all of that, but I'm going to mute everybody really quick, but we can come close to at least giving you an idea of how amazing it was, and some of the highlights that we took away, some of the training. So I hope everybody's got notes, because we've got some amazing stuff to talk about. And so the ones that attended, and I just saw Amanda jump on, was myself and Hillary and Vicki Bronner. And then we had, by invitation, Alicia Ivy came and Amanda Manella came. And the whole atmosphere was our first live event since, gosh, I guess since October of 2019. And just for everybody to be able to see each other again. And I promise you, when you guys go to Dallas in October, it's like nothing you've ever experienced. It's like you get in a room. This one was the small version, but it was like getting in a room with 400 of your best friends. 400, it's like a huge family reunion. And so in Dallas, when we get there, it's going to be like 4,000 of your best friends. It's going to be insane. And I mean, there's not one person that, every single person you met, or every single person that came up to you, you just felt the love. You could feel it. It didn't matter if they knew you or not. Everybody was just hugging everybody, and it was just an amazing time. And so that's kind of an overview of what we just a little bit of how it felt, and seeing people that you talk to every day, and seeing the people that train, and seeing the people that that you look up to, and the people that are just so willing to be, do and see whatever it is that you need me to see, what you need to see. So one of the biggest things from this weekend for me, and I'm gonna end it. So I'm going to end it with whichever one they don't choose. But one of the biggest things this weekend that happened to me personally was everybody had a challenge to find somebody that inspired them to do a Cynthia Evans is the one that encouraged everybody to find somebody to train on your team, ask somebody to train your people, or do a training for your people. So I had these two girls, and I didn't know them at the time, had never had any interaction with them, but they were on my floor, and they were just, I mean, they were scared to death to ask me, and I don't know why, but they asked me if I would do a training for them. And I was like, sure, just set it up. And they said, well, we're underneath. And they gave two top leaders in the company. And they said, we'll call them and have them train for your team, and have them do a training for your team. And, for you doing it one for us. And I said, yeah, no, if I'm going to do a training for you, then I expect both of you to do a training for me. And at that moment, I cannot even explain to you the pride that showed up on their face, that I would want them. And I was like, you're at a leaders conference. Are you not leaders? And they were like, well, yeah, but I was like, then you're the one I want to train my team. And both of them had such an impact on me, just seeing their faces of that empowerment that I poured into them. That was what this whole weekend, that was the summation for me of this whole weekend, was everybody feeling like they were the most important person in the world. And that was a special moment for me. One, that somebody actually wanted me to train for their team, but two, that I got to see them edified as a leader. because apparently no one had ever done that for them before. And when that happened, just their shoulders went up a little straighter. They held their head up a little higher. And it was the most amazing moment for me of the whole weekend, among everything, but that was very special. So I'm going to introduce a couple of people to come on, and we're gonna, everybody's gonna keep it short, between 3 and 5 minutes, so we don't stay on here for 2 hours. But I'm going to start with Vicki since we have her on. We never know how long she's going to be on for, and she has had a rough day, y'all. I'm going to tell you. So, so you guys make Vicki welcome as she recaps her, and I'm not sure who. I think she is actually talking about. I think she's actually going to be talking about Russ Fletcher's speech that he gave. So everybody got to choose the most impactful moment of the weekend. And so Vicki, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to you, hon. You're muted.
Unmuted, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I'm not gonna hardly breathe then, just so that maybe I won't sound like Charlie Brown for a minute. Can you still hear me? Okay. She looked weird, so I thought I wasn't. Y'all, I just cannot even tell you. We were sitting at the corporate staff is just amazing. I can't not talk about the whole corporate staff. We were had dinner reservations and found out they were on the rooftop. So we go up to the rooftop and the corporate staff is sitting around the bar. We had to walk past them to go to the rooftop. And of course, we stopped, they talked, everything, and like calling us by name. Now, Melissa, yes, I can see them calling her by name, but not me. You know, I don't know. I just don't expect anybody to know who I am. And I know they study that, but the power in calling somebody by name is huge. And that was one thing that Russ talked about. We all were on the roof. It was excellent, superb night. I think we spent 4 hours up there with I don't know how many people. The next afternoon we were eating lunch and Russ came by. He saw us sitting there. He spent over an hour standing there talking to us, talking about his wife, talking about all of us, talking about his children. You know, he's just so normal. And you're talking about Utah's CEO of the year for what, 5 years now? You just don't get that anywhere else. And one thing he said though that stood out, I don't know, it's so emotional. I'm still on such a natural high from all of this. But one thing he said, he was talking about member services, and he said it is singular. It's not plural. It's member service, because each person that calls in, there's no time limit on them. It's to make sure we feel appreciated, noticed, cared for. He doesn't care how long it takes for each person. There's no time limit like when you drive through McDonald's or somewhere like that you've got just a few seconds for them to get you through the line. It's whatever it takes. And they treat the business that way. And now about his speech, it was crazy. He had a big old rowing machine, not rowing machine, a rowing boat. He was a rower in college. And he was talking about like over 1,000 things that could go wrong while these 7 men are doing the row. And he did it as one person. And then he tried to teach somebody how that, you know, it's all about being in sync and being headed in the same direction with the same goals. And then all 7 of the corporate staff came out and they did it like a machine. They had 7 machines out there and they did it one by one. And Russ called it just like it would be rowing a boat for a competition. And they were so in sync. And that's what it takes for all of us. There's no time for anything but working forward for all of us to get to that goal. And we can't do it without each other. Y'all know I'm going to cry, but it was so powerful to sit there and watch him lead this crew and lead it so strong and just know that what he is saying is a direct relationship to what we do in our everyday business. Because without Melissa and all of us, going toward that goal. We're not going to get there. Nobody's going to get there without each other. So, we got to keep that in mind. We're not individuals. We are a team, and the stronger bond we have for this team, the quicker and the faster we're going to achieve our goals. Is that 3 to 5 minutes?
It's 3 to 5 minutes, and I sure do appreciate you, and you're so right. And you're probably going to have a heart attack, so just make sure you're sitting down. But Russ Fletcher just joined us on the Zoom, and I would love for him to I would love for him to jump in and just say a few words about that, and just how impactful it is. What impacted your weekend the most, Russ? I mean, I would love to know that. And you're muted. I have to unmute you. Hang on, you're muted. Let me see. Let's see. Oh no, I think we lost him.
There he is.
There he is. Maybe.
Go into participants
Hang on, I did.
and then click on the
You need to mute your phone. Russ, are you there? I think we may have lost him.
Let's try that. How does that
Oh, there we go. Yay.
sound?
Yes, you're there. I hear you. Looks like you're muted again. There. Well.
Here, can you hear me? Can you hear me
Yeah.
now?
Yes, I can. Can't see you, but I can hear you. Are you there?
See, I'm going to try to leave and come back.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, I'm about to have a heart attack, you guys.
Did you know he was getting
I had
on?
no idea. I had no idea. I saw he came in the waiting room, and I was like, I told Alicia, I was like, holy crap.
And I feel like going like this.
Oh my God, I had no idea, you guys. What in the world? How is this? How does that happen?
Melissa, I think you're lying to me.
I promise to God, I raised my hand to Jesus. I had no idea. I had no idea. Why would he do that, y'all, without telling me? I need some preparation. Holy cow. Why would he pick our team?
But you know, that's honestly how amazing he is, and how amazing and how
That's
personable
the
he is.
honest truth.
He treats every single person like a human being. And I will go ahead and tell you something that I thought was incredible. Whenever we got there Thursday night, Chad and I walked into the hotel room, and not only did Curtis call our CSO, but also Russ, they both come up and greet you and remember your names and your faces. Like my husband, Chad's not even, doesn't even do this, other than being an ex-husband, as he was dubbed this weekend. And they recognized him, greeted him, talked with him, and like made him feel welcome. It's amazing. There's nothing like it.
God, I'm blown away right now, but I'm not surprised. Blown away, but not surprised at all. We'll just keep going. And if whoever the next person is, if he comes back on, I'll just interrupt you. Amanda, can you unmute?
Hello, everybody.
Hey, sister.
Hey, I swear you
can't
must
see
have
you,
planned
though.
that with having Russ there. Let me put it
Are
on.
you? Can you turn your camera on?
Let me see. How do I?
Should be at the bottom.
Okay.
There you go.
See?
This is Amanda, everybody. She is my dear friend, and here he comes. Okay, just stop a second. Don't even get started again. So here he
All
comes.
right.
Okay, we're gonna. see. All right. I think we got him. Russ, are you there? He's connecting to audio. So we'll just give it one second. But I'm going to tell you that there were some amazing speakers this weekend, speakers that impacted people that I've heard, but just people that impacted my life. And several of them we're going to talk about. But I see him. I can see him. Can you hear me? Muted. And he is muted. So hang on. Let me see if I can unmute you. There we go. All right, that should have done it right there. I think he left again. Oh my gosh, he's having such a hard time. He's probably saying, dang, I wish I'd never started this. Oh my goodness. Oh, there he is. He's back. But you're muted. Do you have an unmute button?
How about now?
Yes.
Yay.
Praise Jesus. Yes. Hey, Russ.
Hey, Melissa, how are you?
Good. First, what an honor. I mean, that you just jumped on here, and I mean, we are humbled and honored and very grateful, and can't wait to hear. I was asking, I don't know if you heard what I said, but what impacted you this weekend?
So much. What a wonderful time to be together. Just to hear everyone's stories, to see the love and the camaraderie and the joy that people have in being together. I mean, the conference, as wonderful as it was almost secondary to just being together. Having people understand that what we do is just different. It's not about when I used to be in the IT world, sometimes people would talk about schlepping software. Software salesmen would talk about I schlepped software. And I never liked that phrase because I always wanted to go to the result. What are you actually doing? Well, you're hopefully giving people part of their life back. Otherwise, why would they use your software? So as I look at what we do, we don't sell weight loss or health and wellness. We literally reach into somebody's life and make it better. And to see that shine through the example all weekend long was just, I loved it.
Yeah, I did too. Is there anything you want to say to these people about coming to Dallas?
Well, first of all, if you've never experienced a Singular event, you need to come to the very next one that you can. And Dallas is it. So come and be a part of what this feels like. There's a feeling that you can't. Melissa can tell you about it. She took notes. She can describe things. You can hear from Vicki, and you can hear from others. You can hear from anyone who was there. They can tell you about it. But it's like me trying to describe what it's like to have to see the waters off of Bora Bora. I can tell you how beautiful they are. You can see pictures of them. But until you go, you can't really understand how spectacular it is. And you need to come to an event to understand that. That's one. Two, you'll get to hear from great people just like you, standing up on stage, and hopefully you'll see somebody and you'll go, huh, they're not that much different than me. And if they can do it, I can do it. And then three, some of us may speak from the corporate office every now and then.
Yeah, and that's a big part of us. That's pretty important to us, just so you know. I appreciate everything that y'all did. And I'm going to tell you, Vicki and Alicia and I have talked after the lunch that we had on Thursday. And the impact that you have made on us, the impact that you've made on so many people just by you and just by who you are and the way you are and the way you love and the way that you lead. I think that's what makes our company so successful is it starts at the top, and we just want to do things like y'all do it. We just want to be in sync, just like you guys are in sync. And you know that I know it has had an impact on me and how I lead my team. And I thank you and thank everybody at corporate just for the way that y'all are and the way that the way that you impact us and how you have our backs all the time. It's not like anything that I've ever experienced in corporate America in my 20 something years of being there. There's nothing like this.
Well, I appreciate that. I still remember sitting in the room with you and your husband as you debated whether or not this was something you could really do. And I told you, and I've told this story to this group before, but I'll tell it again. I told you that I'm not going to make that decision for you. You're going to make that decision. You have to decide where your heart lies, but I know you can do it. And look at you now.
Mm-hmm.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
And by the way, you're amazing independent of us. You're amazing all by yourself. We just get to help you have a spotlight in which to stand to show off how amazing you are. And that goes for everyone on your team.
Yep.
What we do at the corporate office is nothing without you. And so, yes, sometimes we shine a spotlight on people and they thank us for it, which always makes me smile because they're doing all the work. I had intended to kind of slip in the back door and just sort of listen in.
Well, you're welcome to. You're absolutely welcome to do that. We've got a couple of other people that were there that are going to talk about the impact that it made on this weekend, made on them. If and we would love for you to stay and listen. And anytime you want to interject, you just jump in. We would love that. But I'll introduce you.
So what I think I'll do, Melissa, if it's okay with you, I'm going to turn my camera off. I'm going to mute my phone, and hopefully, if I do decide to come back in, both will come back.
Okay.
But I'd also love to field any questions that people might have. So if you want to, maybe at the end, we can come back to that.
I would love that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Alicia. And Alicia, this was her very first event. She was a nominee. She got to come as invited guest. And I know that this weekend impacted her greatly. And I think she's going to talk about the Jennifer McKinney, who you guys know from 9 at 9. She spoke, and she spoke about leadership of self. And I think that's the one that Alicia chose that had the biggest impact on her. So I'm actually going to pass my phone because she's still here with me. So hang on.
Hey, everybody. It's good to see y'all. This weekend was amazing. What an honor to be included with these incredible leaders and women that just inspire me that it's possible to achieve great things outside of motherhood even, and being a wife. So it's funny how this really struck home for me because before I came, it's something that I felt like God had put on my heart. And it goes back to, some of y'all know that I've been in recovery from addiction for over a year. And it goes back to being authentic, and it goes back to working in an honest program. And it goes back to being who you are in private and in public, consistency. And something that was drilled into my family, or my life from my family, was everywhere you go, you represent, your God, your family, and your church. And I knew that. I carried that. And when I look at Singular, there was something that I felt God was impressing me about, saying, look, you are a walking billboard for Singular. You carry that name. And when you carry that name, you walk into a room and people know who you represent. And, the money is great. The compensation plan is great, but it's more than that. It is mind, body, and spirit. It is all three things that make us a whole person. And and that means that we need to be faithfully taking our products. It means that we need to be working the program. It means that we need to hold each other accountable. If we see one of us stumbling, we say, hey, let me help you, let me carry you. There's this thing in the Army where they don't leave one man behind. They'll tote him across the finish line if they have to in boot camp. And so, that's what we need. And so that was the first point of her leadership of self, because you can't lead a team if you're not leading yourself properly and managing yourself properly. So number one was get your health right. And that, you work the program, eat your, diet right, or I don't want to say diet, but the right foods, and take your supplements. And if you're struggling, call your sponsor and say, I've hit a hiccup. Can you help me? Or does someone on the team, troubleshoot with me? And that means too, if your downline is needing help, help them. But back to self, let's get our bodies right. Second, get your heart right. I love this because it is so true. If we can be intentional, like I try to be intentionally kind, I try to be intentionally empathetic, I try to be intentionally a good listener. But when something goes wrong, you're going to go into default mode, sadly. And if default mode is self-criticism, self-condemnation, feelings of worthlessness, you're gonna really struggle. And that is a weakness for me that I'm working on getting my heart right. So daily affirmations, of course, gratitude, all these things to keep my heart right with God, and all of that. That's important. Let's see. She said, because in a crisis, you will go into default mode. Yeah. So number three was get your mind right, the way you think, say your affirmations, read your scripture, join the 5 a.m. club. And if you don't have that, it's at team 81010. Is that the number? We'll get it to you later. And then 4 is work right. Always find and develop another leader. Align your work with your goals. And I put on there, aim small, miss small. Because if you focus on what you want, you'll go get it. So anyway, thank you, Russ, for a great weekend. It was awesome.
Okay, thank you, Alicia. And that was one of the ones that had a big impact on me. So I'm coming home and I'm making a commitment to all of you right now that I'm going to be a spokesperson for this company. So the next person Amanda had to put her daughter to bed. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Hillary really quick. And Hillary is going to talk about the whiteboards. That's what had a big impact on her. You got to unmute.
I'm totally not speaking about the whiteboards. I changed my mind a few times before this Zoom.
Of course you did. I would expect nothing less from you.
Okay, so what is Amanda talking about?
Amanda is talking about the keynote speaker.
Okay, good.
And Cynthia Evans, sorry.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I didn't think anybody else took this because I changed my mind. I wanted to touch on our Gallup strength testing. I thought that was so amazing that they did this for us. So before we went to XLC, we got these emails to go ahead and fill out our Gallup strengths assessment. And if you've never heard of that before, basically you do this 30-minute assessment. It gives you 2 choices and you pick the one that most closely aligns with you. And you can't think too long about it. You've got to think quickly, and it takes about 30 minutes to complete. And at the end of it, it gives you your top 5 strengths. And let me tell you, whenever I first did mine and I got my 5 strengths back, I was a little shocked and taken aback. And I was like, what does this even mean? And then the more I started reading up on my strengths and looking into it, the more I realized that it is eerily crazy accurate. And so what I found was interesting with this is that it really made me realize some traits and attributes about my personality and me as an individual that I didn't even realize were even strengths. And so we were taught about how these strengths, and there's 34 different strengths that you can have. And then, they're ranked in order. So everybody got their top 5. And these strengths are things that you can use to build on, to work your business better, to build your business better. Because the idea of it is, and the way that he let it off was that instead of focusing on what is wrong with people, what if instead we focused on what is right with people? And then we focused on those strengths and we build on those strengths. And it also led into the fact that, we are all individuals. With that Gallup testing, it is a 1 in 33 million chance that you would have the same top 5 strengths in the same exact order as somebody else, which reiterates the fact that we're all different. We are all different people. We're all individuals. We all think, work, act differently. And so it is so important to find out who you are as a person so that you can grow as a person and see how you work best to help others grow as a person. And it's important to also, in order to lead, you cannot mold somebody else into who you are, who you think they should be, and you can't mold them in to be the person that you are. You have to let them grow as their own individual self. And so I thought that Gallup strengths was that was amazing, because I found out stuff that I didn't even know about my own self. And if y'all are interested, my top 5 strengths in order are, I know y'all are going to be really surprised. My top 5 strengths in order are input, positivity, futuristic, strategic, and developer. So to, look up these strengths and just to build off of them are amazing. And if you look up it's called the Clifton strengths, or you can search Gallup strengths. But if you look up the website, you can go on there and you can do that assessment. And I strongly urge and challenge each one of y'all to do that, so that you can learn about your own self and how you can use those strengths to work your business. But whenever you look it up, it says, the first thing it says straight off the bat is, you are unique, you are powerful, be confident with who you are. Understanding your strengths unlocks your potential and leads you to greater performance. And we also played off of it a little bit differently too, to come to a realization that these top 5 strengths can also sometimes be your weaknesses. And so being aware of this really helps you to use them as strengths and not weaknesses, and to hone in on those and to develop yourself as a person, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. And so you have to work on yourself, which leads back into self-development. So I really thought that the Gallup strengths testing was incredible, because just like Alicia said, the first thing that you've got to work on is getting your mind right, and then your heart right. And, at the very end, you have to work on all this stuff within yourself internally to become a better person, a better leader, and a stronger person before you can actually work your business and make it better. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And if I've got time, I'll do something else. But
Girl,
I can
I'll
can
come
take
back
it.
to you. I'll
Okay.
come back to you. And I enjoyed that too. And y'all will never guess what my number one strength is. And this is the honest to God truth. It is woo! It is called woo. I mean, what is more perfect? I say that all the time, but that means that stands for winning others over. So I didn't even know that was a strength saying woo, but I do it all the time. So that was like awesome. So thank you, Hillary. And yeah, I didn't realize those things were strengths. You know, you think you look at them and they're just things that you do. You don't realize that they're actual strengths. So that was pretty awesome. We've got Amanda Manella on, and she's a manager, and she was there as a nominee. And I want her to jump on. She's gonna share what impacted her. Are you there, Amanda?
Hi, everybody.
Yay! Did you love this weekend?
Oh my gosh. Did I love it? It changed my life. It truly, truly did change my life. And if anybody, I'm so new to this. If anybody here is new or anybody's trying to get anybody new, it is vital that everybody goes in October. Because if you're not ready for this and you're like needing the motivation, wow. Putting yourself in the presence of Melissa, Alicia, Hillary, Vicky, and everybody else this weekend just changed me. It changed my life to remind me that I am important and that I can do anything. And just so grateful, so thankful. What else? I am going to talk about our speaker that talked about how everybody has a slogan, or what did they call it? We give us 8 days and we'll change your life. Well, our speaker, she used the acronym FU, and FU stands for follow up. And she began her speech off just by reminding us all that God will give us everything on his time, that we have to keep waiting until the time is right. We cannot force it. So the F in FU is find them. Learn how to do polls asking who is a leader on your Facebook and on your in your network. For those that are not part of Singular, who wants to lead others at losing weight, staying healthy. You got to believe in the company and the culture. You've got to love, live, and breathe the amazing benefits of Singular, the income, the health, and the love from a company filled with truly real people. That was one thing I took away from this weekend. Was the whole weekend I went truly to make sure that this was real. I wanted to be sure that everything I had heard, all the amazing things that I hear from Melissa and that I see from the income opportunities, it's unbelievable. And it's actually real. It's true. The weight loss, the inspiration, the company culture, just everything. It's real. So, sorry, I had to go off on that. The F also stands for foster them. So show your, lead your group and lead your team, lead your prospects, your customers, show them that they're capable and empower them to be a part of it and help everybody extract the greatness that's already in them. Also, fellowship. F stands for fellowship, and it also stands for freedom to lead. So influencers raise up followers and leaders raise up other leaders. Again, I think that was so important, that statement she made. Influencers raise up followers, leaders raise up other leaders. And then the last for you is actually you. You be the best you can. God didn't give you influence so you could lead people. He gave it to you so you could love people. And wow, how important that is. The love and the hugs, everything that reminded me that I could be the best I could be. The last thing that she said was, you will wait, you will pray, you will question everything, and one day it will finally happen. And it finally happened for me. So
Oh God, girl. I love you. And I'm so thankful
you.
for you and that I got to meet you and spend time with you and that you got to see what I saw and what I've been telling you this whole time. So I'm glad you finally got to see it. I'm just going to cut mine short because I really want to be able to have you guys ask Russ some questions and stuff. So there's just a couple of things that I wanted to give you guys. And one of them is, and I think it's Stephanie Wood that, and by the way, that was Lacey Friend that did that training that she did. Stephanie Wood said, when you think about quitting, remember that quitting is temporary. Every hard is an opportunity to grow. You can't quit something that God put on your heart and in your life. And when you think about quitting, think about your team. You can't let them down. And the other thing was actually something that the 2 elements of success that Russ talked about was personal sponsoring, and the thing that we have been focused on for the last 3 months, subscriptions. That is the 2 elements that we have to do. You can't stop sponsoring your front line. You've got to grow your front line as wide as possible because that's your team, and you've got to get people on subscriptions. That is what's important. That's why every single promo we've been doing, it's not that we don't like you. It's not that we want to make things hard for you. We want you to grow. We want you to grow your empire and leave your legacy. And you do that by sponsoring and by getting them on subscription. And there's so much, and we may do another one to go into the other, the rest of the training, because I've got a book full of notes, because it was just everything that was said. It was just like a light bulb that went off, and it was just absolutely amazing. And the being a well-oiled machine and doing this together. One person can't do it by themselves. Our team is full of a lot of people that are cross line and sister lines and up lines and down lines, and we all need each other. We all need each other to do what every one of our dreams are. You wouldn't be on this call right now if you did not want to build a business. And every single one of you has a place, and every single one of you is important. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what level of strength that you bring, you're important. And that's one of the biggest takeaways that I had this weekend is I need all of you, and you all need me, and you need your people and your sister lines, and you need your coaches, and you need your teams, and we all need each other. There's not one person that's more important than the other, and there's not one person that can do this alone. We all are going to rise together. We're all going to lock arms, and we're all going to go exactly where we want to go together. No man left behind, just like Alicia said. We're a big army, and we are going to fight and claw, and we're going to get to that finish line. And we're all going to do it by lifting each other up and helping each other get there and loving each other all the way. So I just want to open it up. Is there anybody who has any comments or wants to ask? I mean, we've got our CEO on the line. Oh my gosh. Does anybody want to?
Melissa, I'd like to add something if it would be all right.
Please. Yes, absolutely.
So I referenced a book called The Boys in the Boat. In fact, I've been so impacted by that book that we gave a copy to everyone who attended. And you can read that book on several levels. You can read that book as a book about the people, specifically one person named Joe Rance. You can read his personal story and be moved by it. You can read it as a book about rowing, the beauty of it, the wonder of a team, how it all works together, and just be amazed at what a great sport it is. You can read it as a historical book. This is 1936, after all. The Olympics were held in Berlin in front of Adolf Hitler. And then you can read it how I want you to read it. I challenged everyone who came to underline every section of the book that has to do with leadership. It was a leadership conference after all, because the palpable leadership is brilliant throughout that whole book. And as you read that, you talk about, there's a concept that it's really hard to describe, and I tried to illustrate with some demonstrations on stage. It's the concept called swing. And the idea of swing in a boat is you get this rhythm of this movement where you're driving off with your legs at the same pace and everyone's pulling in unison. And we gave a demonstration of that unison. And I asked the AV operators not to play the music so you could just hear the humming of the fans from the machines and the gears all just kind of moving all together and the seats sliding together. When you get that in your team, it's magic. And you will say, oh my goodness, why did I ever work some other way than this? That's my goal for everybody who attended that conference, is to feel what that felt like and desire to get it in their own teams. And with that, are there any questions I can answer?
Somebody better have a question. Just unmute. Let me see if I can unmute you.
Unless I'm on my phone, so the only person I can see is you. So you'll
Okay.
have to sort of monitor
Yep.
this.
Okay, hang on. All right, Hillary, can you?
I just want to know if you'll hop on these meetings a little more often. That was so amazing for you to join us tonight. And it was quite a wonderful surprise. And I am so thankful that I got to see you this past weekend. And I really don't have any questions because I got to experience all of the magic. And it truly is magical. And it is inexplainable, that energy that you can feel in the room and the sense of community. And it honestly is a culture. It is a true culture. And my husband is in the back trying to mouth something. You can come talk. Oh, he won't talk, but he was blown away. And he is, if anybody knows my husband, you know, this is something whenever he says that he is on board and that he is ready to help me achieve executive and ambassador, and that he's behind me 100% and wants to do everything that he can to help me build my business together. That is how powerful and moving these events are. And I appreciate you being a part of it, because I know that you're a huge part of the reason that he feels that way. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. I wish I could jump on these all the time. We're on vacation this week. We stayed a week here in Orlando, and we've taken our kids. Hello. We've taken our kids to. Today we were at Hollywood Studios, and the kids all went from Hollywood Studios over to the Magic Kingdom, and we came home. We were beat. So if they come home and in the door here, I'll have to cut out because it'll get really loud really fast.
That's awesome.
But
I'm still here. I'm leaving to go home tomorrow.
I would love to jump on these all the time, and I try to jump on when I can, but I just happened to see this one and thought, oh, I've got a few minutes. I'll jump in and see if there's some questions I can answer.
Well, we do have another question.
Okay.
Hi, Russ. I'm Alicia Ivy. It was wonderful to meet you. Wow, such an honor. To be honest with you, I was like, man, these people are going over the moon, and I've never even heard of this guy. And after I met you, I saw why they were so crazy about you. You just have an amazing heart and spirit, and it was very obvious. And I'm just as excited to see your name and yourself here as anybody else. I wanted to know what you felt like was the biggest impact or influence in your life as far as leadership, whether that be family, church, scripture? What, what do you feel like has had the biggest impact on your leadership style? And then maybe 1, 2, 3 things that you see as really important. I know service is really important. We've been talking about going the second mile, but I would just like to hear your heart on that.
Well, that's a very full question. So I've had a number of really excellent mentors in my life. Most people know that I idolize my father and the leadership that he gave me and gives me. My father is 100, but still very lucid. You may know that I have an uncle that I'm very, very close with, or was before he passed away. His name is Bob Bennett. He served as a U.S. Senator for 18 years, and his son and I are 3 weeks apart in age. And from the time we were about 10, we alternated summers. I'd spend a summer with his family out in California, and then he'd spend the summer back with me in New Jersey, and we'd go back and forth. And so his dad was like a second dad to me, and his powerful view, and both of those men in their own respective way reflected a belief in God and in Jesus Christ that I reflected in my own life, which is of course a master example that I don't want to shortchange. We talk about God, family, singular. For me, that's Christianity. I recognize that there are others who have their own connection to the divine in their own way, but for me, that example of two men so different and yet so firmly committed to trying to follow Jesus Christ as their Savior meant a lot to me. From in the business world, not too many direct impacts, lots of little impacts, knowing that I could look at it and go, oh no, it was that guy. It's more a sum total of essentially 30 years of learning from some of the best and some of the worst in the business world. And, one of my favorite quotations is Nelson Mandela, who said, "I never lose. I either win or I learn." And so there have been some very difficult people that I've worked for that I learned a lot from.
Thank you.
Other questions, Melissa?
Yeah,
I have one.
Okay, Vicky's got one.
I got a good one.
Oh Lord, Vicky, you're sounding like a robot.
I-
Vicky, Vicky, stop.
Secret. So what's the
You're sounding like a robot.
crap?
Type it in the chat.
Yeah, type it in the chat and we'll get it.
I'm trying. It won't do that either.
She lives by a lake, and this happens at least once a week to her. Bless her heart. It sounds like she's in outer space somewhere.
Can you type it in the chat, Vicki?
I did.
Oh, she wants to know what's the stuff. We won't tell nobody.
Cool stuff.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. We are in the process of. I'll say this: our products are never done. There's no such thing as the final version of any of our products. We improve them, we change them, we discontinue them, and you'll see all of those things over the next 1 to 2 years of products that you know and love, which are going to be different than you have known and loved them. That will take some getting used to. Products that you have imagined that we should have, that we will have. Products that you haven't imagined that we should have. That we now that we have nutritional panel that weighs in on all of our products and meal plans. The meal plans may look different, and they'll take some getting used to. So as we go forward, just know that we're not doing anything capriciously. It's all part of the long game that we talked about. We have a vision for where we want to take the product line, and it extends quite a long ways out into the future. But if we drop it all on you all at the same time, it would be so overwhelming that it would grind our business to a halt and basically feel like starting over. So instead of doing that, which doesn't make any sense, we're going to just slowly bring things along, step by step. I think you've seen some steps. You saw the 8-day, that was a step. The new Accelerate from just several years ago, that was a step. Resist is a step. The trials that we're doing with the various flavors are steps. I think some of you may recognize the fact that this watermelon resist does not have sucralose in it. That's a big step for us because we've been wanting to figure out how to do alternative sweeteners and still have stuff taste good. So as we go forward, just know that there's nothing in our product line that we are sitting back and saying, well, we're going to ignore new science, we're going to ignore new information and just leave that because, well, people like it. We're going to continually push the envelope and making sure you get the best that we can offer.
That is awesome.
How's
And
that for an evasive?
Yeah, I'm excited about some stuff. We all are. I do have, I don't see any, if you have a question, just unmute. But my question is, and you've had experience with very successful companies in the past, what do you think the time frame is for us being $1 billion company? Because I know we're going to be.
So here's the only reason why I hesitate on that answer. We have so much going for us that's right. But the world is a funny place. And, who would have predicted, the pandemic from last year? And both the positive and the negative, right? The positive of explosive sales growth and the negative with worldwide supply chain challenges. There are so many factors. I always refer to it as the stars aligning. What I will say is this, rather than trying to give a time frame, I see nothing on the horizon or anything in our performance as a company that says that we should be worried about not continuing to grow.
I like that answer for sure.
I mean, we've just had the best first half of the year in company history, better than last year. So that's saying something.
That's amazing. So of all of the trips that you take with Singular, what's your favorite? What's your favorite trip and why?
So I'm going to give you, I have different favorite trips for different reasons.
Okay.
The Bora Bora trip is truly the most stunning. There's nothing quite like that hut on the water. The clear nature of the lagoon there in Bora Bora, the snorkeling with the sharks. I mean, it's breathtaking and serene all at the same time. So that in terms of just raw, wonderful beauty, I love that trip. I could not get enough history on the Mediterranean cruise. I was just sort of dripping it in every pore, just sort of soaking in everything. My wife keeps saying to me, stop asking questions. We're going too slow. Have you not asked questions? We're in Rome and we're in Malta and we're in Athens and, just sort of these places that were the the cradles of modern thought and just dripping with history. And I loved it. I'm a big fan of some of those incredible early thinkers. And so that Mediterranean cruise is amazing. Now, having said that, I think to this day, my favorite trip is the first one, HQ, where people get to meet us for the first time and we get to meet them and hear their stories. It's not a trip for me. I live in Utah, so it's not a trip. But I love that. I love to meet excited new people and to hear all those incredible stories.
Yeah, and so that's so funny that you said that, because when people ask me, like, you would think that I was, because I've been to Dubai and I've been to, on the cruise, but my favorite trip was the first one. And I cannot, and my first trip, it was Sundance instead of Park City, but I don't think it would have mattered. I think it was just my husband, for one, seeing it and believing it and going away different, and me getting to meet and see the heart. And I'm going back as a mentor in December, and it's going to be that's what I look forward to. Like this weekend, seeing my team see it for the first time was that was the most amazing thing. And I'm so grateful that I got to do that. And I cannot wait till every single one of you on here get to go to that headquarters trip and walk the halls and see where your picture is going to be, and just pick out the place where your picture is going to be, and then meet the team and meet the customer service that is bar none the best we've ever had. And then go and, have them just smooze you and wine and dine you and just treat you like singular royalty that you are. And it's just, and you see the heart and you come back different. And I can't wait for every single one of you to be able to do that. And I have to agree with them. Of all the places, it's my first one.
Good question.
So does anybody else have
Others
anything?
want to know, what else would someone like to know?
I don't see anybody. Is there anybody else that's got a question?
Is the group of guys that was on stage, are they that funny?
Okay, she wants to know if the group of guys, the corporate
Exactly.
staff and the CE and the cookies with the CEO, if they're really that funny in real life all the time. Oh no, he left. Crap.
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Oh no, yeah. It showed me that you left. Yeah, I hear you now. She wants to know if the corporate staff is really that funny all the time.
So I have really bad connection here where we're staying. Yeah, we have a blast. We love each other.
You can tell.
Yeah.
We laugh a lot. We tease each other a lot. We thoroughly enjoy each other's time together. And one of the things that I insist on is we're a team. We're a team that works together. And so that you saw that.
Yeah, you could. You really could. Do you have any final thoughts? Final parting words? I think you muted yourself again.
Am I
There you go.
unmuted?
Yeah, you are now.
I've been using these same thoughts when people ask me for thoughts for a couple of weeks now. I think there are two things to keep in mind. One is that the answer to the question, what's the goal? What's the goal you want to accomplish with your singular business? What's the goal that you want? Not what does somebody else want for their business? What do you want for your business? What's the goal? Number two, you need to learn to become someone who ruthlessly prioritizes. You simply can't do everything, and that's possible. You have a world open to you, and let me give you an example of an answer to what's the goal. Several years ago, my wife said to me, you know what, we should go up to Yellowstone. We've never been up there as a family. We should go up to Yellowstone and take a little vacation with the kids. And I said, what's the goal? And she said, what do you mean, what's the goal? Goal is a vacation to Yellowstone. And I said, no, you don't understand. You misunderstand me. Is the goal a chance to go to Yellowstone and see everything there is to see about the Yellowstone incredible park? Or is the goal simply to bond together as a family and use Yellowstone as the backdrop for the bonding? Because if it's the first, then I'm planning very strict things, right? Efficient route through the park, how much time we're going to spend at each site. I'm going to plan the trip very, very differently than if it's the second. The second, I'm not going to care if we spend 4 hours at Old Faithful, or if we never get to see the artist's paintbrush, because it's not about the park, it's about the family. And she said, it's the second one. And I said, great. I know how to plan the trip. Otherwise, I would plan a very different trip. So you need to ask yourselves, what's the goal? Do you want what, say, an Ursula Myers has? You can have it, but you know how hard Ursula works? This does not just come out of thin air and arrive on your lap. Ursula works incredibly hard, and she has built an incredible team and continues to pour into those women on her team. And you know, she's been at it for almost 6 years now. So, you know, you can have what she has. There's no question about it. But you have to say, is that really what I want? What's really my goal? And then ruthlessly prioritize your life to get it. Have you ever heard anybody ever say, man, I wish I could play the piano? People say that all the time. What they can. Why don't they? Well, because the real answer is they prioritize other things higher than wanting to play the piano. What people who say that are really saying is, I would like to have the gift of piano playing bestowed upon me without any effort. I'd like somebody to wave a magic wand on me and allow me to play the piano without having to put in the hours of practice or the years of study or the passion or the drive. I just would like to suddenly, bling, have it all happen. When I hear somebody say, I wish I could, my answer is always the same. You chose not to. I wish I could play tennis like my dad. Well, I can. I could. I still can if I want to, if I prioritize that ahead of the other areas that I'm spending my time in. So you get to decide what's the goal, and then ruthlessly prioritize to get it.
That's amazing. Yeah. I appreciate you so much, and thank you for jumping on, and thank you for who you are and what you do. And my team is absolutely amazing, and every person on here you're going to be able to meet, because they are ruthlessly doing their daily activities that they have to do in order to get to where they want to go. It is a daily thing that they are doing, and I'm excited about where this team is going. I'm excited about all of them, and you're going to know all of their names.
With you as a leader, I have no doubt.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm going to sign off. You guys have a great night.
Thanks. I'm going to go ahead and just close this out and declare Ephesians 3:20 over this team, because I believe in every single one of you. I believe that you can have the greatness that God has for you if you just reach out and get it. And I'm going to get that text from you, if you don't mind, that I just sent you. And you just, like he said, you can have anything you want as long as you work hard enough for it. So right now, I'm just going to declare Ephesians 3:20 over this team. God is going to do exceedingly and abundantly
more than we can think or ask. Because we honor him, his blessings are going to chase us down and overtake us. We are in the right place at the right time. And I declare a boldness to rise up in each one of you. God is going to open up supernatural doors. People are going to seek us out, and we are going to rise in the ranks, and we will give him the glory and the honor for it all. I love you guys. Good night.